it's recording. Okay, what's up, people? I am back for another video. Today, we are continuing with the Batman movies. Arguably, the worst Batman movie, probably to a lot of people, Batman and Robin. For me, I liked this as a kid, obviously. You know, I had some of the toys. It was a Batman movie, but man, the older I got, I'm like, yeah, this isn't good. This is a film, like, if we're going to be real, it nearly killed CBM's, like, comic book movies for a while. I would argue, like, even, like, because a year later, you had, like, the first Blade, right? But because of how bad Batman and Robin was, I almost feel like that first Blade was like, okay, we're going to not market it like a comic book movie. It wasn't until, like, I would really say the Raimi films, and, well, the first X-Men film / the Raimi films, that kind of saved comic book movies, because for a while, they were, after this film especially. And I mean, let's be real, it nearly killed Batman film-wise, because Batman, after a while, they were like, okay, we're going to keep him on TV, just do the animated series, the Justice League shows, or, you know, we didn't get a Batman movie again until 2005, so almost 10 years later, it's like 8 years later. 8 years later, yeah, that's about right, yeah, 8 years later. So that's how bad this one did. But to me, I can look at this one, especially compared to Batman Forever. I think this one's not much better. You could probably make an argument objectively Forever is a better movie, but at least Batman and Robin is meetable. I'm sorry. I can laugh at, obviously, you know, and it's gonna be the thumbnail. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Like, come on, man. That shit's entertaining to me. The ice puns are all funny. Right, I rewatched it a couple of months ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I had fun. Not a good movie, obviously. Like, Poison Ivy realistically would not be teaming with Mr. Freeze. Their plans don't really line up together. And also Bane. Bane's actually super smart, because this was like not long after Nightfall, where he got his back broken. And then Bane in this movie, Bane! He has no dialogue except screaming his name. So it's fucked up, because it's like, come on. Because I'll admit, the suit actually looks good. Like, the costume he has is straight up out of the comics. But he's this fucking giant retard who just screams Bane over. Bane's intelligent, and like, granted, I will say Tom Hardy's Bane does not age well either, from Dark Knight Rises, but at least they did go with the intellectual part of him. It's just everything else was kind of disappointing. But Batman and Robin, I have fun with this one. Like, George Clooney's not a good Batman. I'm just gonna say it. He's okay as Bruce Wayne, but he's not a good Batman. To me, his Batman is just George Clooney. He doesn't even change his voice. At least Kilmer somewhat tried to change his voice when he's in the suit. Clooney doesn't. You have Batgirl in this movie, Barbara, who is not Barbara Gordon. For some reason, she's Alfred's niece, which makes no sense. Also, she's kind of a Mary Sue. She just instantly knows everything. Some reason Alfred already made her a suit, which I don't know how that would have worked, even though Alfred's sick. Which, I'll say this, Michael Gough has some good lines. Like, the scenes with him and Bruce are like, probably like, I'm not ribbing. This isn't a rib. This is me giving an actual compliment to this movie. Are actually some of the best scenes in this film, like, legitimately. For the right reasons. Not like, oh, this is the best scene because of the meme lines like Mr. Freeze say or what. No. I actually think the scenes between between Alfred and Bruce are actually very well done. I actually think that's like easily some of the best scenes in the film. But everything else, Robin's a whiny bitch this whole movie. All he does is, why don't you trust me? Why don't you trust me? Why won't you let me do this? Like, it's like, what happened? Because I like Tris O'Donnell in Batman Forever. I'll say the one thing that Batman Forever has over this movie. Okay, a couple things. Val Kilmer's better as Batman and Bruce Wayne than George Clooney, obviously. And then Chris O'Donnell, I think, is much better. I find him annoying in this film. All he does is just about, why don't you trust me? That's all he is. He's like, Robin is not this whiny of a bitch. Even in the cartoon, yeah, he has his moments, because it's supposed to be Dick Grayson. He has his moments of disputing with Bruce, but he doesn't come off like a bitch like he does in this. He just comes off whiny. I mean, obviously the plans don't make sense. The Gotham chain, they just went full retard with the whole over the top tone. Um, yeah, the third act's fucking all over the place. Yeah, this is not a good. But I have fun with it. I could sit down, drunk and high and watch this movie and be fine. It's. I'm not gonna sit down and watch this all the time for sure, but I guess objectively, I'd have to give this film like a probably 4 out of 10. But in terms of entertaining, I'll give it a 6. I have fun with this film. I do, especially if you're watching with a group of friends like I did a couple of months ago. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. It's one of those movies. It's fun to riff on. So that's why, to me, I could take this over Batman Forever. Batman Forever is just bad for me because it doesn't go full like over the top like this one does, whereas I think Batman Forever still tries to play it serious, and that's why in a way I can't separate it like I can with this one. I will agree, this one nearly killed Batman until Batman Begins. I mean, if you're gonna be real, it nearly killed DC because DC hadn't made a film for 8 years until Batman Begins. Because even Marvel, like that first Blade film was a year after this. They didn't market it like a CBM. I wonder if part of the reason is because they don't want people thinking of Batman and Robin again. So let's not market it like a comic book film until that first X-Men. But even then, DC took a while. I mean, Batman Begins didn't come out till 2005. You already had 2 Raimi Spider-Man films and 2 X-Men films about the third one about to come out. So it's like you already and the Incredible Hulk or that first Hulk movie, Ang Lee one. Like he had a bunch of CDMs come out in between, post Batman and Robin, leading up to Batman Begins, and Batman Begins was like the first DC movie in a while. I don't know if they felt like they had to focus on the animated stuff for a while because they felt like they needed to repair their brand. Because if we're gonna be real, this film did damage their brand for a while, like for sure. Think about it. We didn't get a Batman film for fucking 8 years after this. If this did well and was probably more positively reviewed, you would have definitely got a Batman film going into the early 2000s or late 90s. But because this didn't do well, yeah, Batman was on ice, at least film-wise, for 8 years. So, I mean, you can't not acknowledge that. I still can enjoy it now because it's been so long. I think it's helped too. We've had the Nolan trilogy. We've had Batfleck's Batman. We've had so much better toned Batman stuff since Batman and Robin that I do think part of the reason I think I can kind of look at it and laugh at it now is because we've had better Batman content since. So I can just kind of separate it. But I get it. I don't blame people who are still like, fuck this movie. This movie is a fucking AIDS. This is travesty. I don't blame them. But for me, I can laugh at it as its own thing. But I do think part of it is because we've had great Batman film sets. Obviously the Nolan trilogy, the Batfleck stuff. I guess for some people, even the Batman, even though I didn't like it. So at least Batman has been somewhat fixed film-wise that they're like, all right, I can kind of enjoy Batman and Robin as a meme film. Obviously not legit. I look at Batman and Robin and like how I look at like Santa's Sleigh or Jack Frost. These dumb fun movies that I could laugh at or even Leprechaun in the Hood. Like not good movies objectively, but I could laugh at them and just like look at them as a meme. So that's kind of how I look at Batman and Robin. But yeah, so gonna be doing that later tonight. The plan is I'm gonna review The Prowler, which is a movie about a serial killer, pretty much army guy. It's nothing, like I will say the film's more carried by its kills. Like the killer isn't really anything special, if I'm just being honest. But it has some really good kills, and since we're getting close to Halloween, October, figured why not start adding more horror. So, and then tomorrow we're gonna start Terrifier to the Terrifier franchise. I'm gonna try to, if I don't have work in the morning, Killer's Game review like in the morning, so I can get that out the way. It's just been a crazy few days, so but I wanted to get to this video this week, so Killer's Game review potentially tomorrow morning, and then definitely later Terrifier 1. I can't wait to talk about that. So Terrifier 1 is more of a concept film than like a film. I would say 2 is where you get an actual film. I feel like the first one's more of a concept than a film, but anyway, I'll talk about that more later. All right, let's get into Batman and Robin. So the film starts. You basically see Batman and Robin. From this, they go to stop Mr. Freeze. Oh, and this is where you get more of the Bat Nibbles. You get that Bat Nibbles opening where they suit up. It's like, wow. Like, they just, like, within, like, the first few minutes, Batcock. Bat nips. Like, it's like, whoa. It's like, bro, like, not even, like, like, couple minutes in, you already get that. It's like, that's how much of a meme this film is. This is why Superman works alone. I do love that line. I have fun with it. So I guess it confirms Superman does exist. I don't know, obviously, which Superman it would be. So, we get... Oh yeah, the chicks dig the car line with Robin. I mean, like this movie or not, I will say, it's quotable. I mean, even just the first couple of minutes. So yeah, they confront Mr. Freeze. And yeah, dude, it's the ice puds. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! And then you get, for some reason, Batman and Robin have skates just pre-made into their shoes. Like, when did this happen? I always thought that, like, when the fuck did this happen? When did he do this? Did he know he was going to be confronting Mr. Freeze, so he just had them made? It's so fucking over the top. And he's fighting, like, Mr. Freeze's, like, henchmen who look like, basically, hockey players. Because they have, like, hockey... The stick. The hockey stick. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? And then, the bird boy line with Mr. Freeze. I'm just saying, Arnold, you could tell, was having fun with this movie. And the crazy thing was, he was first billed. He got first billing. Even over Clooney. I mean, it makes sense. Clooney, especially Arnold Schwarzenegger, especially by 97. He's a household name, way a household name by this point. So it kind of makes sense why he would kind of get first billing. And so yeah, Robin ends up getting frozen. Oh, the scene where Batman gets put in the ice handcuffs looks so cringe. Batman's trying to break out. He's like, it's just like, what the fuck? Come on. I mean, at least I'll give Joel Schumacher this. He apologized. He acknowledged he fucked up with this movie. There is a scene, I'm going to jump ahead, where this is where Barbara, I think, is first introduced, and there's just this awkward silence where George is like, they're all just like nodding at each other. It's like, I really wonder if they knew this was a piece of shit. And they're just, but you can tell they were still having fun on set. Like, again, Poison Ivy gets introduced. Some mad scientists who, I love how they didn't even try with the guy. They literally made him look like a mad scientist. They made his hair all frizzy, gave him all these wide fucking eyes. The way he would do his dialogue is so over the top. I have to kill you! The way he kills Poison Ivy is so over the top. It's like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, she becomes Poison Ivy, who I will say, in a better film, with a better script, I honestly think Uma Thurman is not a bad pick for Poison Ivy, especially in the 90s. I'll give them, especially young Uma Thurman, I was going to say Charlize Theron by accident. Uma Thurman does have those like eyes. She has like those like enchanting eyes. Like when you look into them, like you're drawn to them. So, and to me, I think that makes sense for a character like Poison Ivy, because a lot of men are like, even if without pheromones, where she does the whole pheromone thing. So she does have like that mesmerizing look, and I think it works. So I think in a better written film, yeah. Granted, I do think Uma Thurman played it over the top too. Not too over the top though. And I actually didn't hate her outfits she had. I did like the first one though. Before the cat suit she gets later on, I actually kind of like the one where she just initially just her clothes are torn. I actually think that kind of looks better. Though that the scene where she gets done, because that's where Bane, because that's where Bane does the Bane thing. But then he's just still standing there screaming Bane. It's like, what the fuck? I'm like, were you just standing there the whole time just screaming Bane? Oh shit. It's this movie, man. So yeah, there's like this some event where they gotta get crystals. You know, this whole thing with Mr. Freeze doesn't make sense. You know, obviously they do somewhat have the backstory of Mr. Freeze about Nora. But in this, obviously, it's just the ice puns with Arnold. So it's almost like you kind of forget about the actual origin of Penguin. Because, not Penguin, I keep saying Penguin, because I'm thinking ice. Mr. Freeze, but in this, you kind of forget it, because it's more about his ice puns. That's all it's kind of about. It's just the ice puns. And for some reason, his suit's powered by crystals, which I don't know how that works. I don't know how that fucking works. But yeah, so Alfred's sick, so that's the other plot. And that's gonna come into play later. Oh my god. So there's events happening where Batman and Robin are there, and this is where Poison Ivy shows up. Basically, it chants everyone, including Batman and Robin, who start bidding for her. And Bruce is like, "Bat credit card, never leave the cave." Oh my god. I can only imagine being a Batman fan, especially if you love those first two Burton films, right? You go to the theater and you see that shit. Bat credit card. Oh my god, man. I can laugh at it now, but I can imagine at the time being like, what the fuck am I, what? Why did Batman just pull out a credit card? What is happening? I mean, okay, yeah, Mr. Freeze shows up. You get some lines between him and Poison Ivy. Then you get a chase between Batman and Robin and Mr. Freeze. And the whole arc with Robin in this film is that, oh, Bruce doesn't trust me because he was trying to make a jump off the, like, some statue. Which I will say this, another positive, I don't fully, granted, I do prefer the Gotham in 89 and Returns, but I didn't hate the new Gotham from, Forever and in this movie. I didn't mind like the futuristic kind of almost over the top city design where like the statues like part of a build, even though realistically that wouldn't function well. But anyway, at least they did something. Like Gotham had a style. I'll say that over like I love the Nolan films, the last two. I think Gotham Begins. I think Gotham in Begins is great. I don't like Gotham in the last two films. It's just a normal looking city. But that's why to me, at least whatever you think of Gotham design in this, at least there's something there. It doesn't just look like generic city. So Batman basically essentially deactivates Robin's bike motorcycle. The way he captures fucking Mr. Freeze makes no fucking sense, but okay. He manages to cause Mr. Freeze's like truck to crash, right? He gets out. Batman just breaks through because he seemingly thinks, oh no, Mr. Freeze freezes Batman's Batmobile, thinks he got him. Batman ends up on the window, jumps through, and then just grabs him, and then he like reveals his cape, and then Mr. Freeze is just taken out. I'm like, the fuck what just happened? What just happened? So Robin and Batman argue, and that's all Robin does in this fucking movie is whine. Like, I am not kidding you. All he fucking does is whine in this film. And I feel bad because Chris O'Donnell's actually a good actor, and I'm like, you couldn't do more with him? No, you just made him just whiny. Just whang, whang. Why don't you trust me, Bruce? And then, yeah, Alfred's starting to get sick. And then this is where we're introduced to Barbara, I'm just going to say Barbara Gordon, but she has a different last name, played by Alicia Silverstone, who I will say, Alicia Silverstone's hot, and actually a pretty good actor, especially at this, like, late. I think it's around the same, I think it's the same year she did, no, it's 2 years after she did Clueless. She did another movie called, like, Crush with Carrie Elway. It's actually a really good movie. It's like a stalker kind of movie. But in this, she's just not good. And also, she's not, Barbara is Jim Gordon's daughter, who, I'm going to be honest, Jim Gordon's such a non-factor in these movies. That's why I've always said he should never have been Gordon. It should have just been a random cop, because to me, he doesn't feel like Gordon. He's barely a factor in these movies. He's just kind of, he pops up randomly, especially in the last two. He just pops up so randomly at times. He's almost just there to have, like, get on the, like, air horn, on the megaphone with whatever villain, and that's it. He doesn't actually have, like, a character in these movies. So it's like, come on. Could have given him more of a character. That's why I've always said he should never have been Gordon. It should have just been some random cop. You know, it's Burton's interpretation, so I would have rather just not done Gordon. Because Gordon and Bruce are actually pretty close. Especially the more they get to know each other. But in this, he's not a character in these movies at all, especially in the later ones. It's just, he's just there. You know what it is? He's just there so you could have, like, if you need, like, a police scene with police there. Like, if you need police in the background, that's what he's there for. I feel like he actually has no real role. He has random lines, even, that he does have, are just kind of random. But so, they made Barbara related to Alfred for some reason. And realistically, why wouldn't it be her grandfather? Why is he your uncle? It makes no sense. And somehow, he already has a suit. I'm just going to spoil that part. He already had a suit made for her. What? One night, she steals the bike, and her and Robin Dick go to, like, some tournament, which all of a sudden it just turns into, like, Mad Max. It just turns into, like, straight Mad Max, because they're racing these weird, like, I don't know, I guess degenerates, punks, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They're, like, in Mad Max garb almost, though, but, like, colorful. And you do get a Coolio cameo, which is literally pretty funny, but it makes no sense. I don't know how Barbara already knows how to ride motorcycles. I don't get it. Robin manages to save her. Whatever. What happens next? Oh, I think they confront Penguin. Keep saying Penguin. Mr. Freeze gets freed out of prison by Ivy and Bane. Who there's a picture. It's supposed to be them at an airport, and Bane, to look inconspicuous, has a fucking, like, you know those detective trench coats that you'd see in, like, old detective movies, and, like, a hat. He's in that, but he's, like, this big motherfucker, and the jacket's, like, barely fitting him. And it's like, what the fuck, movie? Why would you this looks totally inconspicuous. You know, Mr. Freeze is great, because, like, there's a scene with him and the cops, and he's like, allow me to break the ice. Just, like, so many moments, he just has to get his puns in. It's fucking great. So yeah, he gets freed. Ivy makes it look like Batman killed his wife, because she's the one who actually unplugged her, because it's said, no, this is later. Sorry, it's later on, not now. Later on, I think this is where they find Freeze's lair. They confront Ivy, but Ivy basically bewitches Robin, and they end up fighting. Not really fighting. Batman just dumps him in, like, I don't know. It's supposed to be like ice cream, some green shit. I don't know. And fucking well, let me see if this is still recording. Okay, it is. Then I don't remember what happens after. Batman and Robin have an argument. Oh, Ivy makes it look like Batman killed Nora, because it was actually her who unplugged him. And you're gonna find this stuff's gonna come into play later. And then oh, this is where, yeah, Barbara finds the costume, and yeah, it's stupid. And then Bruce, I keep saying that a lot. I just realized that. Bruce and Robin have a, because Robin's trying to go on his own to stop Ivy, but Bruce says, okay, we got to do this together. And there's a scene, he's like, my brother, my friend. He's saying that, like, to Robin. It just, I didn't buy it. I'm like, George Clooney, why'd you say that so, like, you didn't say that with any emotion. I'm like, I'm supposed to buy that. That's supposed to be your friend. You did not portray that at all. My brother, my friend. I'm like, you just like read that out. You didn't even. This fucking movie. So yeah, they team up. They get new suits. They all somehow get new suits. It's so stupid. I don't know how they get new suits so quick. So Ivy gets beaten by basically Barbara. Somehow Bruce was able to record Ivy basically admitting to killing Nora. Says, this is a one-woman show. And somehow he was filming this, because I think this is when Bruce was captured by her Venus flytrap. And he was like, him and Robin were hanging upside down. Well, they were able to, like, they put, like, some kind of plastic on it, so if she kisses him, nothing happens. So, yeah, Barbara shows up, and they get new suits. They confront Freeze, and this is where this is going to be the title of the video. Let's kick some ice. He plans to turn Gotham into, like, he wants to freeze Gotham, essentially. That's his plan. I mean, I don't hate it, I guess. It's fine. Something Mr. Freeze would do, I guess. So, Batman manages to beat Bruce, Mr. Freeze, while I think Robin and Batgirl are, like, fighting the goons and shit. Ugh, this movie. this fucking movie. And Bane, he has a... Oh no, they're fighting Bane, and I think they managed to beat Bane by ripping the stem off, like, which kind of like in the comics, he like just goes small, which is funny as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. The visual when he goes small again, when he deflates, basically, is kind of funny. So, Mr. Freeze, Batman has Freeze down, and I think Mr. Freeze doing almost like Arl's doing the "kill me, do it now," like from Predator. But no, he's Bruce basically admits that it was Ivy who killed his wife, and he shows him the video. Somehow he was recording while he was upside down, and just happened to have the exact frame of her saying it. I'm like, if he's recording, wouldn't it be a different angle? Not the exact angle we saw in the actual movie. It's like, god damn, you don't. This is Batman and Robin. I think I'm asking a little too much here. Then Mr. Freeze somehow has the antidote and has the same, because his wife somehow had the same disease Alfred has. He gives Bruce the vials to cure Alfred. What? He just happens to have this. And she happens to have the same fucking disease. Oh my god, this fucking film. Yeah, so I think it ends, he kind of like had a similar ending to the first movie, or to Forever, when instead of it's just Batman and Robin, it's Batman, Robin, and Batgirl like running together to the camera. Yeah, this is not a good movie, but I have fun with it. It is so memeable. The plot, it just makes no sense that it's like just fun to laugh at. I'm like, the fact that somehow Mr. Freeze had the cure for the disease that his wife happened to have the same disease Alfred has now. Just okay. All right, maybe. Barbara is very much a Mary, so she just like knows how to fight and just knows how to use everything, even though she's just introduced in this fucking film. Um, I honestly think Uma Thurman. I'm gonna keep saying it. If she was in a better film that was better written, basically, if she was in a good Batman film where she was actually written seriously, I think she could be a good Poison Ivy. Bane is just so memeable because literally all is just him saying Bane. It's just him screaming his name over and over. It's just like, the fuck. And the VIP of the film, I don't care how many. You're not putting me back. You're not putting me in the cooler. Come on, that shit's great. Like, dude, Baz Adams' film. It is quotable, maybe for the wrong reasons, but. Yeah, this movie is so memeable. I have fun with it. That's why I can enjoy it more than Batman and Robin. I mean, Batman Forever. It's just Batman Forever just had a better Batman, and I think Chris O'Donnell's much better in that movie than he is in this. But I can have fun with like how memeable this film is. You know, I you know, it knew what it is at least, and I think it just partially because it goes all out. Whereas I think Forever was trying to be both. It was clearly there were moments it was trying to be a serious movie, and then it goes all goofy. It's like so like it doesn't know what it is. That's why I do think this. That's why for me, at least this one just goes all out with the goofiness, and I can understand though. I'm gonna keep saying I get it at the time, man. Especially if you're a Batman fan, you just see Batman pull out a fucking credit card, bat credit card, never leave the kid without it. It's like what the fuck. And then you got like Mr. Free. Why is he just dropping ice puns every 2 seconds? And then why is Barbara related to Alfred? It's like there's a lot wrong with this movie. I know that. That's why like this is gonna be one of the rare times I have to kind of rank it in 2 different ways. It's objectively, obviously, this is like probably a 4 out of 10. Being real, if I'm being generous, 4. But for me, entertainment wise, I'm gonna give it a 6. I can't give it a 7. I don't think even subjectively I feel wrong giving it that. So at least 6, because I can have fun with how memeable it is. If I'm watching it high, or if I'm watching it with some buddies and we're just roasting it, I did that. I did that a couple months ago. I watched it with some friends, and on Discord, and my God, I had fun with it. That's why like not the greatest film in the world, but I can have fun watching this compared to fucking Batman Forever. Just keeping it real. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy, at least for now, we're getting out of the bad Batman movie territory now. We're gonna be going to next week, Batman Begins, which it is between 89 and that is probably my favorite Batman film of all time. I love Batman Begins. My only real gripe is what they do with Scarecrow. But aside from that, perfect origin story. Christian Bale was perfect, especially when he's billionaire playboy Bruce. And of the 3 movies, I love Alfred in that one. I love Alfred in that first one. He's just so good. He has so many good quotes. Liam Neeson's great. Gotham, actually, of the 3, has the most unique look of them. And Bale's voice is actually the best when he's Batman, is the best in this. I think in the next 2, especially Rises, it just gets beautiful. But at least in that first one, it was done well. Where I think it was more whisper, and it wasn't swear to me. Or no, he does do that, but even when he does that, it's not as like, where's the trigger? Who is the trigger? You'll never do that in ordinary citizens. Like shit like that in Rises. It's just like, oh my God, the voice. But at least in this, it's like good. Gotham's good. I think it's the most comic book feeling film of the 3. I think Dark Knight objectively is the best of the three, but I love Begins. To me, as a Batman film, is my favorite. Though Dark Knight for a long time was my favorite comic book film. It's still up there as like objectively just comic book film. Like that theater experience was incredible. So it's gonna be nice talking to Nolan. Truly, I've been kind of meaning to talk about them, and it just kind of makes sense doing it with like the other Batman movies. So at least we're gonna be going to some good ones. But not gonna lie, man, I'm gonna keep saying I had fun with Batman and Robin. Even watching it earlier this week, I had fun with it. So the plan is later tonight I will be reviewing The Prowler, or fuck, depending on how the day goes, I might even do it earlier. We'll see. And then tomorrow I will be doing, if I don't have work in the morning, Killer's Game. I do, because I really do want to talk about that. That film was actually really good. One of my favorite films of the year. I don't know. It might be my favorite film of the year. I don't know yet. It's up there. It's really tied with that Boy Kills World. But man, I do want to talk about that. And then tomorrow evening, I can't wait to talk about that first Terrifier. I've been wanting to get into the Terrifier films, but I figured it makes more sense to get into them when when the new one's about to come out. So, anyways, so call it here, guys. Batman and Robin, not great. I understand it really hurt comic book films for a little bit, but I have fun with it now. And this is, it is what it is. Like, I can watch it to have fun. I know it's not good. I know it's not good at all, but so other than that, guys, I'm gonna talk to you guys later for the Prowler. The Iceman cometh. Like, come on. I have fun with that shit. But anyways, I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Peace.